Well, some members of the public will be allowed to attend the Menendez brothers' highly anticipated court hearing on Monday, but they have to score a lottery ticket first. Court officials say 16 seats inside the courtroom will be available to the public via a lottery that will take place outside the Van Nuys courthouse on Monday morning. Okay, Mark Geragos, he joins me now live. He is the attorney for Erik and Lyle Menendez. Good to have you. Thanks so much for being here. Let's start off with Monday. For those members of the public who will be there, can they expect to see Erik and Lyle Menendez in the courtroom? And what can we expect from this status hearing?
Well, I don't think that their bodies will be there. I think they'll be there virtually by WebEx. Seems like an awful lot to have carted them up here just for the status hearing. Although I would expect on Monday that we will confirm a December 11th date make sure the judge has got enough time, because December is always tough. And then I think we also will, we may actually try to call one of the witnesses on Monday just briefly to address the court because of her age concern. We may also talk about the recall of the sentence and kind of plot out exactly what the hearing itself will look at, would be my guess. And I don't want to presume or tell the judge what to do, but I have suggestions as to how that would look, and I'm sure we'll discuss it.
Okay, so then bottom line is nothing major will come out on Mondays. Gearing up for, you mentioned December 11th for folks watching at home. That is the actual resentencing hearing. You talked about, of course, Thanksgiving is next week. You said right here that you hoped that they would be home by Thanksgiving. Are you still hopeful?
Well, one of the reasons that I kind of pegged it to Thanksgiving is Joan, who is Kitty's older sister, who desperately wants to have them home. She turns 93 this next week. 1 day after the hearing is her 93rd birthday. I also did just 2 weeks ago Friday what's called a conditional examination of Jose's older sister, Terry, who has a couple of health challenges herself, and also I don't think she wants me telling her age, but she's a very young and vibrant in her 80s. She also would like them home. So it's always been my fervent hope to get them home for Thanksgiving. If not Thanksgiving, then hopefully for the holidays at Christmas.
Okay, because, you know, the incoming district attorney for Los Angeles County, Nathan Hochman, he was here last week, and he talked about really the only plausible way that they would actually make it home before Thanksgiving is if, in fact, Governor Newsom granted them clemency. We know where that stands because Newsom came out and said, basically deferred to Hochman to let him do his thing. Where does this all stand right now? Have you spoken to Hochman himself? Because he seems to have a different take than Gascon. He's not as, gung-ho to get them released, in that he says he still has to have go through a lot of paperwork and all the evidence to make his decision.
Well, I take him at his word. I haven't spoken to him yet. He says he wants to speak to the prosecutors who tried the case, which is tough because David Kahn, who tried it the second trial, is now dead. Juan Mejia, who was, I believe, third chair, is still in the office, and I think just got a promotion. If I saw the list of supposed assignments today, but he also said he wanted to speak to the defense lawyers. He wants to speak to the victims, all of the family on both sides. As I mentioned, Jose and Kitty's family, save one relative, more than 30 have signed off on a petition, all wanting them to come home, immediately. You'll see a number of the family members there on Monday in the courtroom flying in because they want to be present. If he goes through, and I'm hopeful that he will, all of the what's called the C file, which is their correctional file, if he goes through and talks to correctional officers who are dealing with both of them, I don't think anybody who looks at the C files and looks at what happened and sees that they've done 35 years can come away with any conclusion, but that it's time for them to be released. I've never seen victims on both sides of a double homicide, both sides almost uniformly, save one, who have advocated strongly for the perpetrators to be released. And this is the case.
Just to put a bow on this, December 11th, the resentencing hearing, could that be the day then that that final decision is made where the judge says we're going to resentence to manslaughter, which means that they essentially could walk free on December the 11th, or opposite and make the judgment call that no, we're going to keep him in?
Yeah, I think that's entirely possible. There's also a myriad of other possibilities. We also have next week, on Joan's birthday, coincidentally, the 26th, is the day that the habeas response, a separate proceeding in front of a separate judge, Judge Ryan, is also due by the DA's office. We're waiting to see what the DA does there as well. That's a challenge to the conviction itself. That's not even a resentencing. And we also have the governor, as you've mentioned, who's out there and has the ability to weigh in at any time and either give a reprieve, a pardon, or a commutation.
Okay, well, we will be watching, and no doubt we will ask you to come back and give us your take. Mark Geragos, defense attorney, thank you so much for being with me tonight.
Thank you.